Welcome everyone. Sorry about the sound of my voice. I'm not feeling well, so that's why I'm home today. So I wanted to take a few minutes and explain the sex-linked aliens worksheet. I like to use my own family tree to explain this idea. Before we get into the big image that I took from the school when I was there on Friday, I want to remind you that over here, the X and the Y chromosome are not the same length. The X chromosome is significantly longer than the Y chromosome, so there are several traits that live on the X chromosome that if I'm a male and I get XY as my sex chromosomes, I only get one copy of some of those genes from my mom. So my dad's Y chromosome just doesn't have a copy. So we talked a little bit about male pattern baldness last week, or maybe even the week before that, and that's an example. I'm going to use another example today, and that's red and green color blindness. So that's something that, again, that lives on the X chromosome. So the Y chromosome can't cover a defective copy or a mutated version that just doesn't let you see red and green colors. You see them as the same. So excuse me. So back to the karyotype. This is my family tree. So this is called a pedigree when it looks like this, and the boxes or squares are males and the circles are females. So you can see this is me right here, and then I have one sibling, that's my sister, and these are my two parents. This is my wife, and then her sibling, and she has several half siblings, but I didn't include them because I was out of board space and they wouldn't have really helped anyway. But these there are my wife's parents, and then these are my children, and these are my nieces and nephews. My sister's husband-ish person that she's lived with for 20 years is Jeremy, and then these are his parents. So that's just kind of what you're looking at. And then all the letters there, you see that my dad is colored in. So he is red and green colorblind. He can't see, I can't tell the difference between them. So he's XY because he's a male. And so I know that I am XY as well, and my mom is XX because she's female. So the Y chromosome that I carry came from my dad, and the X chromosome that I carry came from my mom. So the fact that I can see color and my mom can see color made me really confident when my wife and I decided to have kids that we weren't going to have kids that had color blindness, even though my dad is colorblind. So we were also pretty confident that my wife had two dominant alleles in her family tree. She doesn't have anyone, no cousins, no aunts or uncles. There's no reason to think that there's a color blindness X hiding as a recessive in her genome. So we were pretty confident that our daughter would get my healthy X, and our son would get her healthy X. So when you look at this notation, what you're seeing is the chromosome and the gene. So this says the H gene lives on the X chromosome. And I just picked H's because you could see, like, usually you can tell the difference between my capitals and my lower cases. Um, you can just randomly assign any letter to it. The genes really have long number names and they're really complex, so we often just like shorthand them, abbreviate them for what they stand for. So what's really kind of beneficial about this pedigree is my sister's side of things. So my sister got a healthy X from my mom, but the only X that my dad had to donate was the bad one, or the one that has the lowercase h. So if I went further up here, dad got his bad H, his lowercase h, from his mom, and we could continue the pedigree up through several generations. I don't know. I don't have the family history to go too far back. Anyway, so we know that my sister got the lowercase h from my dad on the only X chromosome that he has. So then her husband can see color, so he must have a good, healthy allele on his X chromosome. They have four kids. So Carter is the first boy, Nova, Crosby, and Cosmo. So we know that Nova, these three are all old enough that we know whether they can or cannot see color. But we knew when we found out that Nova was going to be a girl that she would be able to see color because she has to get the capital H from Jeremy because that's the only X chromosome that he has to give. So if he gives an X, then that means that the baby can see color. Excuse me. So Carter, when he's the oldest, and when he was conceived, my sister and I had this conversation, and we said, there's a 50-50 chance that Carter is gonna be colorblind because depending on which X you give him, that's going to determine the trait. So if Carter got the capital H version that my sister has and his dad's Y, then he would be able to see color. He can't see color. He can't see red and green. He can see other colors, but he can't tell the difference between red and green. So that means he got the X from my sister that has the lowercase h. His younger brother Crosby got the capital H. So he can see color. So if I weren't trying to show the genes, you can see I erased on this square that this one was colored in. Carter has the trait just like my dad does. Crosby does not. Nova potentially could have a lowercase h, and if she did, then she would be half colored in. My sister should be half colored in also. I just was trying to make it clearer here. Crosby, like I said, can see color, so he must have gotten the capital H from my sister on her X chromosome. And Cosmo, we're not sure about yet. He is just under 2, and he's talking and he's saying sentences, but they're like little toddler baby sentences. So we're not 100% sure on that one. So when you set up the Punnett squares on these, focus on these two people, right? We need to set up our Punnett square with the chromosome and the gene. So up top on a sex-linked chromosome Punnett square, on a sex-linked Punnett square, you'll have X some letter and Y. That's the dad's chromosomes. On the side, you'll have X some letter, X some letter. So the things that you're seeing here, if we were to set up their Punnett square, these two things would go up top and these two things would go on the side. It works exactly the same as a 4-square Punnett square, just like the easy ones that we did on day 1 of Mendel. But you've got a big letter and an almost looks like a variable and an exponent in every one of them. But your Y won't have any exponents on it because the Y is short and it doesn't carry copies of those genes. So give those a shot. I think that once you get them set up, once you see how to do it, it's pretty straightforward. So shoot me messages on Canvas. You've got Mrs. Young there to help you today, and of course Mrs. Brubaker is there to help. So let me know what you need. Good luck, guys.